When I started this job in 2002, I hadn't left North America. And now I've been to almost 30 different countries. I'm basically designing playgrounds for a lot of our clients. We work in Austria and Switzerland and France, many large resorts in North America, including Whistler Blackcomb. We just finished the Sochi 2014 master planning. So over the last 30 years, we've probably done over 400 master plans around the world. You don't always go into the resort business to make money. You're doing it because you have a passion. Back in the 60s and 70s, people had access to small pieces of property that had just enough slope gradient on them to throw up a T-bar or a rope tow, open up a little ski area. It was more of a mom and pop operation. I think we're really starting to see the decline or even the total disappearance of these little mom and pop operations. They weren't thinking big, they weren't thinking globally, they were just thinking about their small piece of land at that time and what could we do to make some money. You have to run a lot of business through these little mom and pop operations in order to just turn the lights on. And what started happening was someone with that vision or someone with the means to fund these studies or to look bigger and start adding hotels and adding shinier lifts and adding all of the other activities. They started to pop up around them and they started to move forward with what could this be? Could this be 2,000 or 3,000 skiers a day? Could this be 10,000? Can this be a destination resort where people from all over the world are going to come to? And I think there's a lot of other big resorts out there that have done a good job of following the market and keeping up with technology. You know, whether it's Europe and Team Val d'Isère or whether it's Whistler Blackcomb with their lift technologies. I think a lot of the bigger players understand that they have to keep innovating and they're finding ways to stay one step ahead. I think global warming is happening. I think it's affecting climate change. We do have to be careful and conscious of how low, what elevation we're designing these four-season resorts. And we are setting, or we're picking a contour line on one of our topography maps and saying nothing below this line because we know that it's not going to be feasible, whether it's in the next 5, 10, 15, or 20, 25 years. There's no question the economy is the single greatest driver in ski area development. Before 2008, there was a lot of economies doing very well. And then basically the tap turned off. I've seen evidence of resorts all over the world in different countries that look like time stopped. There's concrete shells. There's lifts that are half built and actually lifts that are being removed because someone had to get rid of them and sell them for next to nothing. You know, the recession has definitely affected things, but I think people really still love the mountains and the winter, and they will find a way to still get out there and play. One place that is sort of an anomaly right now is China. I still am literally designing on paper, the ink isn't dry, and they're already in the ground building the resorts. But when I was first going there, I would go through these old villages, and they might be 100 people in these little one-story houses. And they're standing there with a toque, no gloves, and just a sweater and regular pants, and it's minus 20. And they got the biggest smiles on their face. They can see that tomorrow is going to be just that much better than yesterday. People have their basic needs met, and now what they're looking towards is the mountains. The most recent one we've been working on is the Chiang Mai-shan four-season resort in Jilin province. We told them when we started that it was going to take you 20 to 25 years to build this resort. And they basically looked us square in the eye and they said, we're going to do it in 2. I've been there, I've skied it. They accomplished what they said they would, and they did it in less than 3 years. Chiang Mai-shan has now set the standard for all mountain resorts in China. You'll see all these fancy chairlifts for passengers now, or even gondolas, and most people now are riding on the moving carpets. I would say 90% of them. It's a young sport there. But on the other hand, you have these day ski areas. And the ones that are doing very well are the ones near the larger urban centers and seem to be really focused on children and teenagers. And there's no doubt in my mind action sport culture has arrived in China. At the end of the day, there's a lot of factors that affect ski areas around the world, but nothing can change the stoke people feel when they slide in snow and they get to share that experience with others who feel the same way. I've always been an optimist, and I think the future looks pretty bright.